Hey guys, so today on So Vegan Easy we've got a really nice hearty stew going on. Lots of fresh veggies and still going to get a bit of protein in there with your lentils. So it's going to be super delicious and nice and cozy just as it's starting to get cold. What we have going on is we have 1 onion, 2 carrots, a courgette, a few new potato, a leek, some little shroomies, some garlic, a cabbage, a broccoli, some lentils, vegan stock powder, and then for your herbs I've got rosemary, thyme and oregano. You can pick and choose, you can use completely different ones. The great thing about this is you're so versatile and you can just swap out different ingredients, pick whatever you fancy and just constantly keep it different and keep it fun. Another additional item which you might fancy adding in is HP sauce. It might sound a bit strange, it was something I kind of grew up just popping on the stews and it goes really well with it. Just one last thing was I've got some bread which I'll just pop in the oven just to get nice and toasty and warm, just to rip off to have with that. So that's about it, let's get cooking. Okay guys, so first up we have our onions and carrots, and I normally plan out the chopping just by chopping what you're going to start cooking first, and then that way it's just a bit easier and then you'll scrape it off. It's just a small thing and you don't need to concern yourself too much. So we're going to go for about 1 centimetre dice for the onion and for the carrots. So you can get cracking if you know what you're doing, or feel free to follow me, although probably not like this. Ten minutes later. It's a bit of a difficult one. Okay, so we're just going to dice it up, nothing too fine. Same thing with the carrots, so you're just topping and tailing, pop them off to one side, straight down in half. I try and get 2 cuts out of it. I also don't bother peeling the carrots, as long as you just give them a wash, they'll be all good, in my opinion anyway. So nice little chunks for them. And there you go, that's ready. I'll try and pile that up a bit more. Being a bit slow today. Okay, so then same thing with the courgette, top and tail, straight down the middle, couple of cuts, and what I'm doing is just at a slight angle so that they are going to be at the same size when you dice them up. Pop them in there. And then your leek. So what I do with the leek is you can see where there are these dry bits that you don't want, and you just cut those bits off. And I try and use as much as I can because it's not actually that bad. All the stuff at the top, so you can see pretty much from here up is very dry, so we can take that off just about there. You want to try and use as much as you can really. Okay, and then for these it's going to be about 1 centimetre thick. I've forgotten to wash this, but that's what's going to happen. So you just get your bit of dirt out and off the chopping board. Nice and clean. Okay, these mushrooms, I would ideally have more, but this is all I had left. So just using that. I don't want them to go to waste because they were getting a little bit old. You can pop that in with these guys as well. And then next to the carrots and onion, I'm just going to chop the new potatoes. Again, a similar kind of size. Okay, then we'll move on to the broccoli. Now the way that I will normally use the broccoli is the first time I'll trim off the florets just like this, so you can see the necks, if you like, of the florets, and you just trim them off. And then this is actually completely usable. I'll show you if I'll just use a bit of it, so probably about up to there. And all you need to do, you chop off until you can see it's fresh like that, and then you can also notice just around the ring here these are the bits you don't want because that will be quite hard, so you just want to kind of trim until you get to a nice core, just like that. Oh. And then we're just going to do that similar size, maybe a little bit thinner. Maybe just a couple more. Okay, and then I've just run out of room, so I'm just going to pop some into a bowl. So you're straight in with your onions, your carrots and your potato to the bowl. And then we can finish with the cabbage. I'm probably going to use about just under half a cabbage. This is another great one that you can just do. You can prep extra. I'm just going to get the outer layer off. It's a bit worn, tired rather. So this is something that you can just put in the freezer once it's all cooked and you've got some left over. You can pop it in the freezer. You can obviously just keep it in the fridge, but it's a great go-to when you're feeling very lazy. Sorry, I wasn't really concentrating there. Yeah, so this one is not probably about 1/2 centimetre slices. I'm actually going to do that in half first. And then finally with your garlic. So normally I would use the fine grater, but I just want to show you guys how I chop the garlic when I don't have one. So it's a similar kind of thing to the onion in that I'll just chop the end bit off the hard end where you wouldn't really want to use with, and then I'll go one side, a couple of cuts down there, flip it over on its side, and then maybe get 1 or 2 depending on the size. And then you just want to practice that motion of where you're holding the garlic with your fingers, using the base of your finger here as the guide for the knife. And you're starting off slowly until you get a good technique, and you're just going to come out with a really nice and fine garlic, just like that. And we're going to do one more for this. So once again down one side, and then flip it, and then a bit difficult to try and show you guys. So just one side and then the other side, and same thing again. And just flip it over for that last bit. It doesn't need to be super fine. And that is as simple as the veg prep. So we're going to go on and start cooking. Okay, so all we need for this is one pot, so it's nice and simple. So we're going to take that off and pop the heat on. Pour some, you can use olive oil or you can use vegetable oil. And then, as always, sprinkling of salt. And then I'm going to go straight in with the potatoes, the carrots and the red onion. And then I'm also just going to go straight in with half a tablespoon of oregano. Tablespoon of thyme, and half a tablespoon of rosemary. And then just give that a quick mix around. Just going to add a little bit more oil to that, it's looking a bit dry. Okay, and then I'm just going to let that heat up and have a quick clean down, come back in about 1 minute. Okay, so it's been a minute and that is nice and heated up now. Just going to let that get a little bit fragrant before I'm going to add any water, just to help the spices really kind of interact with it and absorb right into it. So what I would do now is, if you get your kettle on boil and just fill up a decent amount of water, because obviously this is going to become a stew, and then we can just keep mixing this around, making sure nothing's sticking to the bottom, and then we can start adding the water once it's boiled. Okay, so the kettle has just clicked off. So what I'm firstly going to do is grab my tin of lentils, just drain them quickly. I'm going to chuck them straight in. Give them a good mix around. Looking good. So again, I'm just going to wait about 30 seconds or so, just to help the herbs really kind of absorb into those lentils. And just add another pinch of salt. And just while we're waiting for that, I'm going to use a tablespoon of stock powder, or if you want to use just a stock cube, it's up to you. And then give that a mix in there. Just give it that nice rich flavour. Smelling good. Okay, so now we're going to go in with our water. about to halfway up. I'd say maybe about 100 to 200 litres. Well, the best way I would say is just you want your veg to be submerged and you're just pouring a little bit on top of there just so you're covering it. And there's obviously going to be a whole lot more veg that's going to go in there, but these are going to come in nearer the end of it because we don't want to overcook them. We want them to still have their nice tasty kind of crunch to them and not get lost with all the flavour and not have all of the good nutrients boiled away as well. So, the other great thing about it is how easy this is. So now we've got this on boil. I've got it about middle of the heat, and you can just keep an eye on it. Just keep regularly check on it. I'm going to pop the lid on now and wait probably about 15 minutes. Well, actually no, I'll wait 10 minutes and then just assess it there, see how cooked the potatoes are and the carrots, and then we might start adding our veg in from there. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and we'll just pop the lid off and try. You want to look for the biggest piece of either potato or carrot, depends how big you've cut it, but it's best to check both just to make sure that they're okay. Yeah, that's ready. Well, it's still got that little bit of hardness, but we've still got time to put all these veggies in, so that is perfect. So we can take the lid off now, and then we can go straight in pretty much everything actually. Maybe about half the cabbage. I think that will be enough. Good. Okay, and then I'm going to add some more salt there. If you want to, if you're less keen on adding salt, you can add other things, stock powder, whatever you kind of fancy. You just want to adjust it how you like it. So I'm going to pop that lid on. Obviously the veggies are going to reduce down a bit. So make sure everything is kind of semi-submerged. You can add some more water if you like. So I'm just going to pop the lid back on and let it cook for another about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we can check it again. So once again, it's just a good time to have a quick clean up and get ready for plating up. One thing I just forgot to mention is if you are using bread like I am, then I'm just going to pop the oven on full whack just to give it a nice toast on the outside and nice and soft and warm on the inside. Okay, so that has been about 2 or 3 minutes. Actually about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I've just checked on the broccoli. It's got that nice big crunch, and you can see these are all still nice and vibrant, but it's still cooked enough, so it's kind of that perfect level. This is the point at which you're going to adjust your seasoning. You can add more herbs or anything else you want. Balsamic is a really nice kind of addition in this, so whatever you want, it's up to you. Jazz it up how you like, and if you are adding any extra herbs, you just want to cook it for another minute or so just to kind of get that mix in there. But this is ready to go for me, so we're going to go and plate up. Okay guys, and then all that's left to do is plate up or bowl up, and literally all I'm doing is just sticking it straight in there. Don't even need any garnish if you don't want it, and it is as easy as that. Well, thanks for watching.